apparently, according to what I saw about Josh, there's some traumas there that he was dealing with, and that's why he acted out the way that he did. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, these guys have a lot of things that they keep bottled up. I'm not making excuses for Josh, but I want y'all to understand a lot. Just because the guy's a talented basketball player doesn't mean that he doesn't have entitlement issues and have some mental issues. It could be there, even though I looked it up. That's Josh and his parents. Played Alabama, I believe. I think he played Alabama. He's from Canada. He's a Canadian. And you have all this promise in this future. You know, you have two parents right there with you. And this situation gets to the point of where it is. A lot of these black men need help. A lot of these black men need help. A lot of these black men are out here dealing with a lot of issues. And sports is their outlet, right? That's why a lot of these guys don't know what to do when they're no longer playing. Sports is their outlet to get out that anger and frustration, right? To have something to fill that void, because a lot of these guys have a void. But what Josh did was not good. I don't know where his NBA career is. People are saying that he may not play again. I don't know. He's a young guy. You know, and never say never, because talented athletes will always have a place. Now, if you beat on a woman, now that might be tough, right? Or you're accused of something horrible, even though beating on women is horrible. But you know, if you're accused of taking box from women, definitely. But in this situation, he was just being weird. He was being weird, and again, I think the Spurs leaked the information about this woman to the public in order to distance himself further and to make him look worse and worse. Now you got this white woman's face everywhere, the woman that he was inappropriate towards, right? So now he has to deal with this. So let's get in this article from Bro Bible. So the San Antonio Spurs shocked the sports world yesterday when they suddenly released Joshua Primo, who they had spent a lottery pick on just a year earlier. The Spurs had also recently picked up Primo's third-year option. After he was released, Primo released a statement about the move coming because he needed time to focus on his mental health. What did I tell y'all about these guys and mental health issues? I know that you all are surprised by today's announcement. I've been seeking help to deal with previous trauma that I suffered and will now take this time to focus on my mental health treatment more fully. I hope to be able to discuss these issues in the future so I can help others who have suffered in a similar way. I appreciate the privacy at this time. What I'll tell y'all about the traumas that these guys go through. Just because these guys make it to the NBA and NFL doesn't mean they ain't dealt with trauma. I mean, just go listen to the stories of how these dudes grew up and the things that happened to them. And again, sports was their outlet. But a lot of times that ain't enough. That's why I think these guys should seek professional help while they are playing. No, these teams, from my understanding, is giving them resources. But sometimes you have to go out there and seek your own resources. Today, a new report emerged that painted a very different picture of the situation. According to a report from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne, Primo's release came as a result of multiple alleged instances of him having exposed himself to women. Report revealed San Antonio Spurs released Joshua Primo over allegations of multiple instances of him exposing himself to multiple women. This explanation makes more sense than the Spurs releasing him because he needed to focus on his mental health, which is something he likely could have done while remaining under contract, like we saw Calvin Ridley do last year in the NFL. When Primo was released, there were many who expected him to generate a ton of interest on the waiver wire, but that will no longer, I guess, be the case. Now the basketball world will wait to see the result of these allegations. Again, these are allegations, but he's saying himself that I have some issues. Now, this according to It's Game 7. San Antonio Spurs released former first-round pick Josh Primo this weekend in a move that sent shockwaves throughout the league. Primo is just 19 years old and had consistently been regarded as an integral part of the franchise's future plans. Less than 24 hours after the Spurs made their move, news emerged that their decision came as a result of multiple allegations of Primo exposing himself to women. The lurid details of what specifically the youngster did came out not long after. Again, I believe San Antonio Spurs put this out. On Monday, the San Antonio Express News reported that ex-Spurs consulting psychiatrist Dr. Hillary Carthen is one of the women who accused Primo of impropriety. So she was a consulting psychologist, and he even allegedly exposed himself to her. It's not good, man. Tony Busby, the ambulance chaser, will discuss allegations made by the doctor and others against NBA player Josh Primo, the events that precipitated the release of Primo, the veracity of recent public statements made by both the Spurs organization and Primo, interactions with individuals within the San Antonio Spurs organization, and the expected path forward. A press release received by the San Antonio Express News from Busby's law firm read. The doctor will be present to make a public statement and answer pertinent questions. Yeah, the doctor's loving the attention. That seemed like a woman who's very traumatized, that she's ready to answer questions at a press conference. Why would you go to Tony Busby, the ambulance chasing lawyer, right? That man doesn't care about these women. He's just trying to get paid. But that's who she goes. It's funny how she goes right to him. Like a day or so later? Or maybe this was something she said X. So maybe she was fired or let go for some other reason, and she's coming forward now claiming that he did these things. Again, these are allegations. Josh can always fight back if those allegations aren't true. Because again, unless these women have proof that this dude whipped it out in front of them, it's going to be very difficult for her to sue Josh. Unless he admits to doing it, I don't think he's admitted to doing it. It is going to be tough. I will say this though, these athletes of today, they have a lot going on, and they do need. I think a lot of these guys cope with whatever issues they have with women. You see these guys run through all these Instagram models, right? That's their way of coping with whatever issues that they have. A lot of these guys will get into gambling. They buy expensive stuff, right? That's their way of trying to cope with whatever trauma that they have and to find some sort of happiness. But a lot of times it's tough for them to do that anyway. Well, with Josh, I mean, this guy has all the resources to work on those things. Is it the stress that's causing him to react that way? It's weird psychology. I think psychology needs to study stuff like this to really figure out why this guy's exposing himself to these women. Is he just a guy that gets away with things? Has Josh Primo gotten away with so much that he felt like he can expose himself to these women and nothing would happen? Because this guy is a talented athlete, right? NBA player out of Canada. He's gotten away with certain behaviors before, and maybe he felt like he could do it again. But he may not have an NBA career if more women come out and say he's exposed himself. But again, that's difficult to prove unless he's like menacing them. If he's like being physical with them, that's different. Or if he sent them photos. Now, if he sent them photos, he's cooked. Okay? Josh Primo is cooked if he sent photos. Maybe that's why the doctor here, the female doctor here, that's why she went to Tony Busby, is because maybe she has proof. If she does, man, he is done. Okay? But, you can never say never, but I don't know how he comes back from that. I really don't. You showing your junk through text mess, I mean, that's going to be very difficult to come back from. But we'll see. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.